the topic we're going to talk today is very interesting and very trending. And I say it must be painful as well for all the store owners running the store on Magento 1.9, right? And thus, we, the team of Woocommerce and Design and Buy, thought to make the subject matter easy for you. And we are here to share with you the complete guide on Magento 1.9 to Magento 2.x store migration. And so, for that, today we have with us Danish Hussain, who is a business development manager at Woocommerce. Being in the domain since many years, his sound knowledge and understanding on e-commerce technology and software solution will enlighten you with the worthy insights. And our next presenter for the webinar is Dheeraj Pandey, who is Assistant Vice President at Design and Buy Web to Print Solution. He'll guide you on how to migrate your digital printing store without any data loss. So I'll make sure that you'll receive the great insights today from the experts of the domain, and I'm very excited for you all.
Hello, thank you very much, Deepika, and hey folks, everyone, thank you very much for joining this webinar. I would really especially like to thank to attendees joining from South and North America because it's early in the morning there, and even some of them we got an update they're joining from other regions like in Australia, and those are very time zones. So we especially thank you all for taking your time out from your busy schedule. So here we get started, and we have very interesting things to share in today's webinar. And as Deepika said, it's definitely going to be worthy for everyone. So just be there and enjoy this entire session, and feel free to make your list of questions if there would be any. Okay, and we're gonna have a dedicated Q&A session for this webinar, so that's not again a problem. So let's move on. As you can see on my screen, this is what today we're gonna talk. So yeah, why migrate to Magento 2, right? We have many customers in this webinar, as well as we get many joining from other Magento 1 customers. They want to switch it to the Magento 2. They heard many news about the Magento 1, and because of that reason they want to switch to Magento 2, and they heard many things about that Magento 2 is better. So there are many things going on into the community. So what exactly your approach should be? Being established like e-commerce and m-commerce company, we just wanted to share our experience, how we can give our valuable input for you, and how it might help you in terms of growing your business even better. So our primary focus of this webinar is to talk more about why to migrate to Magento 2, as you can see that, and what are the main differences between the Magento 1 and Magento 2. Okay, and when you actually migrate it, it's all about, okay, when you switch it to the new store, build it on Magento 2, that's pretty much straightforward, right? But when we talk about the migration, right, what are the key things included? That's very important to know. So we will also be talking on those things. And is it possible to migrate from Shopify, Woocommerce, or any other e-commerce platform to Magento 2? That's, again, we're going to talk on that. And what about your data, and as you can see on my slide. So these are all the topics we're going to talk, and of course there could be many more things included in this. So this is why we have the Q&A session for you guys. So feel free to share your any question which is not included in this, and we will be glad to assist you and sharing our knowledge on that. So here we get started. We have some interesting facts thanks to our marketing team who puts their efforts in collecting the data and just finds a very interesting facts for you. So we did some effort, as you can see on my slide. We have an information that the Magento ends in June 2020. Now, what does it mean of ending Magento 1 in June 2020? It means that Magento officially will not be giving you any kind of security update or platform related function updates. So it means that it's going to be outdated sooner or later. So this is the reason people are moving to Magento 2, and the reason behind discontinuing the support of a Magento 1 is that because they have to focus more on Magento 2 because they're actually putting a great features inside the Magento 2, not in terms of just the UI and UX, but actually features which could be more productive for yourself. So that's the clock going on. We just have approximately 300 days left from Magento 1 to 2, and how it's gonna be there. That's what we're gonna check in for the slides. So in this slide, as you can see that on my screen, why stores on Magento 1 need to migrate, as I started initially as well. So if you have a Magento 1, Magento 1 is officially going to discontinue and there won't be no security patch, no update and upgrade. So that's the primary reason that you should migrate to Magento 2, right? That's obvious reason. But in case if you want to learn more about the theme, I would say there are other reasons as well to migrate to the Magento 2, because Magento 2 has a complete revamp in terms of architecture, in terms of backend, panel UI, and more integrations options. Even the PWA with the 2.3 they support now. The PWA, we'll talk more later in this on this topic in the same webinar later on. So these are the main reasons you should upgrade your store to the Magento 2. And of course, why not to get an advantage if you're getting a better performance, better scalability. So that's all you're getting with Magento 2. So these could be the main reasons for you to migrate your store to the Magento 2. Why Magento, by the way? So that could be the question. Although the Magento is a leader in the e-commerce industry, right? There are many approaches to build your e-commerce website. There are different types of websites. So when you talk about e-commerce type website, there are many approaches could be. So one approach, a very well-known, is to go with a ready software e-commerce suite, right? Like there are others like Cscart, OpenCart, but why Magento? So as you can see on my slide, the number one big reason I consider myself is that it's a great open source platform. What I mean is that it has a community. It's a great community driven platform, so you get huge support there directly from community itself. You don't have to rely on web agencies in the small cases. You can get assistance directly from the web available community of the Magento itself, and there are more than 2.5 like to 250,000 merchants across the globe. And I can't even just that, as you can see that the transactions happening on Magento, it's in $1 billion, 1.2 billion dollars, and there are more than like 28% of the websites actually powered by the Magento itself. So we believe this statistics specific to the e-commerce. So these are some facts we would like to highlight that have makes Magento more scalable, more powerful, and it could be a reason for you to think about the Magento itself. But these are some statistics that we are talking. But when we interact with our customers, there are many more things which you might actually understand when you will be actually using Magento, like how scalable and flexible the platform is, that in terms of fulfilling your requirement. If you have an Oracle ERP system, how well it can sync with an ERP system, how easy it is to make an integration. There are many more things are there, and of course we would love to have a detailed discussion with you guys. So feel free. These are some glimpses we're sharing with you, and there are many things to share about the Magento itself, and we love working with Magento. So we will be, of course, excited in sharing more information about the same as well. All right, here we are. So in this slide, what we're checking is that different types of platform, as I said before as well, there are other approaches available, right? One could go with custom e-commerce as well, but it's a complete different story. But now we're talking about a ready e-commerce system. There are many startups we deal personally, at Woocommerce that who started with the Magento solution, and they're now doing quite well into the market. We would wish to share some details about the same in one-on-one session. Once you'll be submitting your request to our team, we'll be sharing more detail on that as well. So yeah, let's go back to the point. We're talking here about the differences between the different kind of e-commerce platforms. So at right side, as you can see that we have the Woocommerce, a tiny small platform. And at left hand, we have the Shopify, a very emerging, I would call, an e-commerce platform. And as you can see that the establishment and the launched in 2009. So if you can see the launch of the Magento, it's 2008, and Woocommerce in 11. So there are differences. You can read it on my slide as well. I would like to highlight in a different manner is that WooCommerce is a very good, and Shopify is again a good e-commerce platform. But both are some targeting to the different type of requirement, I would say, because WooCommerce itself a plugin for the WordPress, so it's not a dedicated e-commerce platform. So I wouldn't be much focusing more about talking the comparison with the Magento itself, because Magento is a full-fledged e-commerce solution. And at the left hand, as you can see, that we have the Shopify. Now Shopify, I really checked the solution and I talk with our customers. So it many times the people prefer to go with Shopify. The reason is that it is based on the subscription. So you can, if you're just testing the market, you might prefer to go with Shopify. But what really makes you uh, 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 deciding about the platform is your actual requirement. Of course, you can find many articles on the internet about the differentiation between the e-commerce platforms of these or many other you can edit, and our team has found some for you, as you can see on my slide, that you can understand more on that. But for you, when you're deciding your requirement, you should always consider your business requirement and how we can mold it. In our experience, I would say that Magento is the very great platform because it is the combination of multiple e-commerce platforms. It does offer you the performance if you set it up well with the your proper Magento agency. You need for that, and if you are planning to do some sort of changes onto the platform, we prefer Magento. And there are many robust system available. Just like if I talk about the Woocommerce app, we have that application which is built and designed for Magento itself. So it's again like a mini platform built for Magento. So such level of scalability and kind of compatible extensions modules in the market, you can easily find it in Magento. So this makes Magento a supreme into the market, I would call it. And other, as you can see that you have it on my screen. So these are some things, and of course you can scale it, as I'm just keep saying, the way you want. It can support thousands SKU easily. Integrations is quite possible, easily available. Customization, we can do it. There are tons of multi-vendor e-commerce websites are running built on Magento, so it offers a great customization layer if you want to do it, and you can easily do it with Magento. So these are some primary basic differences we're talking about different type of e-commerce platform. And just out of the box, I would like to share that we offer a very transparent consultancy to our customers about such platforms. And I'm so glad to share is that we have actually customers coming up from a different e-commerce platforms, and they decide to go with Magento because they found their business need inside that. And we have some live clients as well. I would like to share it with you once you connect with our team later on after webinar. So live studies, we have it, so that it will definitely give you a better idea about the same. So that's it. We moving on. So Magento 2, again we are sharing some highlights about the features. As you can see that we have Magento offers you the multi-level theme inheritance, the better security. That's very important because now we're running an e-commerce store. I recently had a meeting yesterday, and it was a web. They were running store on the other e-commerce platform, and the server got hacked. We didn't even they didn't even identify yet, but now we are in discussion. They're looking Woocommerce to build a new system because their primary reason was the security. So for other customers, for you, it could be different requirement. But I would also like to highlight is that Magento is one of the safest e-commerce platform. Offers you the 256-bit encryption that makes it very, very strong and very difficult for hackers to breach into the securities and other things you can see on my slide. So we have, to share something here, that some technical information, that what are actually differences between Magento 1 and Magento 2, because why Magento itself is pushing people to move to the Magento 2. So you can see something like the Apache version is different, is bit server related things. Then PHP configuration is that the MySQL need, you would be looking for such configuration, and Solar is actually a great feature of the Magento, and they did upgrade the HTML to HTML5 and some other technical stuffs you can do it. I think if we didn't edit one important point, I think I might find it later in the next upcoming flight. So Magento 2 with the 2.3, they are now offering also PWA. So the people who are already using Magento 1, they might be aware about a default theme Magento offers, and with Magento 2, when they started offering a Luma theme, which is again HTML based theme, which is a default theme actually of Magento. I found my customers, they not prefer to use such default theme because maybe they have some brand concerns, but with Magento 2.3 they have now the progressive web app as a default setup. So that's again a significant change they made it with the latest version of the Magento. Moving fastly on, what about the performance? As I said multiple times, performance is good. You can see some statistics in here. Magento 2 offers you significant change, even with the home page loading, it's just giving you more than 50% of the change. With the simple, when you go to the one product to different products, when you open a product detail page, again there is some significant changes we notice in here. Perfect. So overall, as you can see that we have more detail to share. I hope you guys understand. We cannot just put everything and make it more difficult for you guys to understand. So we have many things to share about the performance point of view, and even our approach, but overall it is 50% faster than the Magento 1, and it could be even more if you go with approach we will be suggesting you. Okay. And important thing is that about the checkout, it's even 3 times faster comparing to the Magento 1, as you can see that. Okay, one interesting thing which I personally like with the Magento 2 is that because it gives business person an ability to easily manage it. Although the Magento 1 had a good UI, stable one, but with Magento 2 they have completely revamped the admin panel UI as well, as you can see that. So it's more easy to use. Even I checked in my mobile Chrome browser, it worked well. So it's not responsive admin panel, of course, but it allows you to access it through the mobile devices as well, because they worked out well on the panel as well. And the settings and configuration now even easier to find it in that. Even the one thing which I like is the configurable product and custom products easily can be set in here. So that's about it. And the extensions available. SEO, as always, Magento offers you complete SEO related tools as well inside it. Okay, now for you guys, for those only who are a little bit curious to see how actually Magento 2 looks like. So I'll be very quick, it's not a Magento demo. It's just a glimpse we wanted to share for those people who are unaware about how it looks like. So I'll be very quick in giving you the idea about the same as well. Okay, so this is how the Magento 2 looks like. We have a dashboard here. You go to the dashboard, you can see the glimpse, similar to the Magento 1, but they have changed a lot into the UI, as you can see that. And now we have the catalog moved directly here. You can add products in here. We have dedicated customer options right at this point. Now the one thing which I really like is that reports separation in the different categorization, as you can see that. They have now, they are now even offering a better reports divided into the separate menus, you can see that. So the UI is quite intuitive, I would call it. You can set a different discount rules from this option, right? And from here you can manage all the sales related activities, even the returns, sales, orders, invoices, and so on. So that's all about Magento I wanted to highlight. Of course, it's just a glimpse. As I said, if there is something you wanted to learn more about the same, keep up will be, okay, what is that home business owners while deciding to migrate to Magento want to do? So the topic of the webinar, if we just focus more on that, what are the key factors, for business owners while deciding to migrate the Magento 1? Because as I said, it's easy to start a new store on Magento 2 or any other e-commerce, but it's very difficult for someone who've been into the market and running the Magento 1 or any other e-commerce platform. So that's a very critical for the business. We talk usually about the same as well. What are the things required on those things? So that those things we are actually going to talk on these things. So as you can see that. So these are the key points. We have like data migration. What type of data would you be able to migrate your? Are all the products inventories with customer history? I mean to say their orders and everything. So the data is a very first and foremost requirement of anyone who is looking to migrate from Magento 1 or even from other e-commerce platforms like Woocommerce, Shopify. Remember, there are different process involved in each different type of e-commerce platform to guide you better about the same. And then we call, the data is okay, one thing, and then we have an extensions. What about the modules we're using into the website? How would you be migrating those extension into the Magento 2? Whether we'll have to buy the new extension, those all will be covered in that. And third, design, a branding related concern about the same. Would I be able to use the same design, okay, or not? And if there is a customization done on my existing, would I be able to do that, use the same customization or not? And about the ACO migration. I believe related to ACO, we have a different team for the same. So a marketing service can offer you the free consultancy about the same as well. So all these points are concerned for our customers, and we can, make sure that we include each and everything before you, decide to go with Magento 2. And once you see everything that in action, yeah, this seems feasible, then we move to the Magento 2. So data migration, as we're talking about what type of data could be migrated and customer ask us to do, is of course like products, as I said before, the sales, right, and the customer base, which is very important. Such things we do it. And when it comes to extension, right, let me share a couple of things in here as well. If you have a Magento 1, okay, if you have the Magento 1 and you have an extension or extensions or even a custom modules, the approach is quite simple. Visibly, like we have to do, or somebody who is doing the migration for you, they have to do exactly the same what you did for Magento 1. Additionally, because you are already using Magento 1 extension, you need to use the same extension into Magento 2. So using that extension into Magento 2, it's not difficult. You can install that extension available for Magento 2. But what about the data of that extension? For an example, reward point, a loyalty point extension is there. It's one example we are tagging. So we deal with customer. They ask that it's okay, Magento 2 offers the same extension, okay. But we say that what about your data, right? So your data, we have to successfully migrate to that as well. And there are some, process involved. Who is the maker of that particular extension? Is it encrypted extension or open extension? What kind of data migration option that extension provider is offering to you? From you bought an extension from any provider, let's say like provider A, B, or C. Do they provide you any options where they can give you a file as a backup file, which will allow you to easily restore it into the Magento 2? So yes, there are many reputed extensions available into the extension providers available into the market who helps you to easily migrate to the Magento. But still there are many extension providers, still they're not supporting well enough for Magento 2. So in those cases, what would be your approach? Those all detailing of your concerns will be covered in this segment of extension and the customization migration. Design migration, create or recreate old theme. Or I believe SEO part is a quite different topic for the discussion, but I would just like to summarize about the SEO is that Magento 2 has even a better compatibility related to the ACO, things. So those things would be easily done, and we have our marketing team. They can give you a free consultancy for the same about the guide. What are the things included? So I would be more focusing on the design migration. Now, you have a couple of options left, right? Like you have the current design. If it is a custom designed, is it or if it is a theme-based design, we have to identify that one, right? So based on that, the approach would be different. So let's say that you have the custom design, right? So do you want that exact design into the Magento 2? So the thing is that if you want that exact design into the Magento 2, so we'll have to build it from scratch, because design cannot be directly migrated to the Magento 2. But to make it very easy and to provide you a very better option in that, I'll be showing you a glimpse about the Woocommerce package on the same. We have premium designs. You can call it like a handcrafted design. Right? I really like to use that term because it's very beautiful designs. So we designed such premium themes for you. It is now available as a theme because we made it in that form now. So you can choose those themes and you can go with that one. But if you insist that you want an exact look like that one, then we do have some options for you. That we have designing options where we can customize our existing theme. We can look at it. But in any situation, whether if you want your existing design to look like exactly Magento 2, there are some custom works going to be involved, so that you will have to take care. So this is actually connected with your budget, how much budget you're allocating to Magento 2 migration. If you're just looking for a quick migration and you're allocating small budget at the moment, I believe you go with a ready design of Woocommerce. We have a very trendy designs available that definitely going to reduce your cost and time as well. It's very important, and more than money, the time is important, right? So that's kind of options we have it for that one. Now I think we're moving on and going to the another interesting segment of this webinar, which is again related to the Magento 122 migration or other e-commerce platform for our very creative parent company Designed by. So I'll be just handing over from here to Dheeraj. So I request Dheeraj to take this forward from here and to tell our audiences more about how Web2Print, how Designed by can assist in terms of migration and what other options we have. Dheeraj, over to you, please.
Perfect. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for a quick clarification. I think it was not quick, it was very informative, and I hope the audience had the same feeling. So, I see even in the audience list that many of our existing customers who have been using our older version of Web2Print solution, which was on Magento 1. And so I believe the next 3 slides is going to be very much useful for them because they have been planning to migrate to Magento 2, wherein I also see there are a lot many new print service provider have also participated today. So what I will be also doing is I'll just give you a quick overview of All-in-One Designer solution, which is launched on Magento latest version. It's currently on Magento 2.3.1, and just to give a complete quick overview of the solution, it's an integrated Web2Print solution which automates most of the backend processes and helps print service provider actually maintain all of their sales channels, multi-vendor network, the franchises networks, right? So as you can see, it comes with a default B2C storefront, print workflow, MIS, and as per the current business structure, that is going to be on the previous slide. Yeah. So as per the business model, so some of the printer might be only in the B2C business model, wherein some might be operating in a both B2C or B2B, and maybe there might be a trade printer where they might be maintaining various print resellers in the market, right? So this becomes a good fit for them, where they automate all of their sales channels through a Web2Print application, and maintain all of these sales channels as per their processes, the structure of pricing, products, right? Even they are having outsourcing and dependent on multiple vendors for the fulfillment, so they can also configure all those areas as well. So as you can see again, it has a complete dedicated e-commerce. So the e-commerce platform what we have used is Magento 2, as I mentioned earlier, and it is coming with an inbuilt designer tool which helps customer personalize their product, whether it is maybe a wide format product or a photo segments or a packaging or a merchandise or gifting products. Any range of print products you are currently offering into, the designer tool is capable of handling all the wide range of print products and allow customer seamlessly operate that and even personalize that designs from a mobile phone as well.
Oh.
Perfect. So now if I talk about the migration again, so as I said, many of the attendees I see, they are already our existing customer and using our current, older version, which was on Magento 1. So now, as Danis rightly shown the backend of Magento and how easy it is to even, migrate the data from Magento 1 to Magento 2. So the limitation, here is not up to, the scope is not up to migrating the Magento data into, from 1 to 2, wherein if you are already using our earlier version, we can also migrate the web to print module, which we have built exclusively for Magento, right? From where you have been managing your designer tool functionality. So whether it is related to fonts or a clip art category, which you have already maintained in your current version, or had have an image library, the printable colors and the color category you would have managed in case if you are operating into merchandise and gifting products. Same for printing methods, whatever cost structure, the metrics you would have created for your various printing methods, like a screen digital embroidery, sublimation. So those printing methods configurations can also be migrated to all-in-one version 3.3, and even the background images, the template which you would have already created and spent many hours in the backend for creating those fantastic trending templates to attract more customers on your stores. So you don't have to redo again those activity which you have already done it, right? So most of the activity from even web to print, whether it is related to fonts or related to design templates or your configurations for pricings, right? Whatever data customer has saved, those older designs, the previous design which was saved by the customers. So everything, even the sales order which was placed by a customer, in the previous version. So everything can be easily be migrated to a newer version, right? Now, if I go to next slide, so I'll be discussing now here the approach how we take this forward. So say, for example, you are having currently store on Magento 1. So what we do, first of all, we first analyze, your current Magento store, as Danis was mentioning about the flexibility of the Magento. So I believe even in Magento 1, it was quite flexible and it was quite futuristic. So you would have done many modifications or customization as per your unique business needs. So first step, what we do is we identify those customization which was made in Magento 1. And then after identifying that, we do the complete assessment and we prepare the migration plan. That, okay, what are the details, what are the data from the Magento 1 has to be migrated to, your Magento 2 store. Then we discuss about the new functionality. So that new functionality which is there in the Magento 2, or even you might need further modification in the application, maybe a changes in the UI, not only to maybe a Magento e-commerce, but also in the designer tool part, right? So that customization, new functionality perspective will be talking about, in more detail, we'll be discussing that with you. Okay, so after we, finalize the scope of work in terms of, what data has to be migrated, what new functionality has to be implemented in the new version, what, existing customization which was there in Magento 1 has to, rebuild or configure again in Magento 2, so that we finalize. And then we discuss about the UI changes and the payment and shipping gateway which has to be implemented. Especially in Magento 2, it is now more advanced. There are almost a variety of or probably I can say the huge list of payment and shipping gateways are now available by default, wherein specific to your country, if you have any preferred payment gateway provider which has to be integrated, and still those payment gateway or shipping gateway providers are not a part of default Magento, it can be also integrated, right? So after defining all this scoping, we then proceed for the complete data migration and implementation of your store, wherein after doing so, we also test the complete store. We check the site performance, the features, the integration if we have done any in form of third-party system or extensions or even designer tools. So we check the complete performance into it for the end-to-end solution. And probably in the early in this webinar, Danis rightly stated that gave you clarification about how the performance has been optimized in Magento 2 version completely, right? So it was like loading time of product information page was around 2 seconds. So that's the speed you get, and we ensure that yes, everything has been done properly so that the performance which has to be achieved in this Magento latest version, that is delivered to you, right? And then you also have some add-on services where you can go for SEO implementations, on-page SEO implementation from our end, or even you need help in creating design services, so creating design templates, or you are populating your new product detail into the system. So there are many add-on services which we also help our existing customer populate that to ensure that you relaunch the site on Magento latest version so quickly, so faster, with less error, right?
Yeah, here we are.
Okay. So just to give a quick overview of design and buy, so we established in 2008, so now it's like 11 plus year of experience, and we have almost customers in 60 plus countries, almost 650 plus printers have already associated with us, and we have almost 700 live implementation of web to print solutions. You can say it's a complete experience we have in this industry, and being a responsible vendor, we have keep on upgrading our solution on latest technology and latest functionality so that we can help our customer be ahead in the market, be competitive advantage in the market, and still and they get a web to print solution which is a very futuristic and scalable, right? We have been member of almost all the leading print networks, and we also exhibit in most of the known printing expos, and we have been also featured in many of the leading media, right? So I think you can go to next slide, Tanis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just again a overview. As I mentioned, we have a customer in 60 plus countries, so almost all the continents, all the regions we have been operating into, and we have been having a great market share coming out from the US, Canada, Europe, even Australia, New Zealand, and majorly also from Asia, right? So that has been our journey till together, and I think probably Danis, you can take forward from here, and I hope I was able to give a quick overview of how a complete web to print solution, which either a print service provider is already using on Magento 1, or or they are planning to probably implement a web to print solution in 2019. This could be the right choice for them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dheeraj. And I think one thing is that Dheeraj would also be agree with me, because we talk with many customers around the globe that they hesitated because they feel that it's so complicated, so technical, and other stuffs involved in migrating. But the way, and especially with designing and web to print things, but I think the way we understood the process in here, I think it could be actually complicated, but we made it very, very simple for you guys to spend things and to get started easily.
Yes.
Perfect. So
Yes.
now from here, I would like you guys to give you a little bit more glimpse about how we work with our customers in terms of providing the all-in-one solution, whether it is web to print or an e-commerce. So one should, of course, understand is that Mobicommerce is actually being part of Design and Buy. Design and Buy provides a web to print solution, and at Mobicommerce you get the complete e-commerce and m-commerce solution. So we are actually offering you here some glimpse. If you go with migration, what are the options we have for you? Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again and we'll show you a glimpse about the same. So as you can see on my slide, if you go with the, Mobicommerce, and if you want, to migrate things, of course we have a migration service, but to make it more valuable for you guys, what we offer is that we offer you a bundle solutions, and how it works and how we make it more effective solution so that you can easily generate an ROI for the same. So we offer you not just migration, along with that we give you a great options to choose your own designs for your website, like UI. Then they give you an option to go with a free apps for Android and iOS, because if you're in e-commerce, you should be having an application, right? Because most of the customers are using an mobile devices, so you have to move with an application. So we offer you the free apps for that as well. And now we recently launched our all new stunning and performing or oriented solution, which is PWAs, a very new concept which is we adopted quickly and built it. So it's going to be a very quick glimpse which I'm going to share it with you guys. So I'm just turning my screen to that mode, and I hope it is now visible to all. So this is how our app looks like. So you come up with our solution, we migrate your things, we give you this application. So this is how your app would look like. And then we have a React based progressive web app solution available for the same. So it actually gives you even better performance with the same server configuration. So as you can see that it's actually like an offline experience. I'm just browsing in front of you. So such options we have it. So it's not only a migration, because if you're going keeping yourself up to date with the technology, this is why you're moving to the Magento 2. So why not to go with some very important weapons into the market, which might actually prove to get more revenue for yourself. So this is how our progressive web app would look like. We have more to share. We made it very simple for business to manage it from the back end. So we have very interesting back end to see it as well. This is how our app look like. This is again fully controllable. So if I just conclude it, if I go back to my slides, and if I concluded about the solutions we're offering at Mobicommerce and Design and Buy, so I would like to tell it like this, that we want to provide a solution to businesses, right? So we don't want to make it anything like technology and very technical, which you need to hire a technical person to operate these things and so on. No, that's not like that at all. So it's all easy. We made it, whether it is a process to migrate it from Magento 1 to 2, from Shopify, from Woocommerce or any other e-commerce platform, and to go with a latest e-commerce, trends, whether it's a PWAs or a mobile application. We have complete all-in-one e-commerce solution. That's all we do under the single hood, same hood we do it. So that's all I wanted to make sure that you understand it. So we can help you with such objects as well. So Dheeraj briefed already about the company Design and Buy, and as I said before, Mobicommerce is actually backed by Design and Buy, and Mobicommerce is a wing where we assist our customers all related to the e-commerce, and mostly our solution is designed for Magento, and we proudly consider ourselves as a Magento expert into the market. And as a result, as you can see that we launched our progressive web app early and well mature before anyone into the market currently in the Magento. So it proves us that we have a great Magento expertise and other things as well to learn more about the same. So it's been more than four to 5 years, and we have almost customers in 45 plus countries. I'm talking about Mobicommerce, and we have successfully deployed to 500 plus solutions. We have most customers in Middle East, UAE, Saudi Arab, as well as in Europe region, okay? And we also have a few customers in Australia. We would be glad to share more information about our clientele in case if you want to check some live clients. Feel free to contact us. So that's all about Mobicommerce, and this is some more about our company background. And if I just, already said to you that the solution, the great thing about our solution is that we give you a ready package, right? So you don't have to do anything starting from the development, or even go step ahead, starting from understanding your need, compiling the document on a white paper, getting confirmation from you, assisting you, suggestion to you about the technology and things, developing, testing, deploying to your server, publishing to the Play Store and App Store. It's all included in a single package. Even then you go live, we have some interactive support and upgrade packages with our maintenance contract. So this is all we're making things easy for you, all about e-commerce. That's all we're trying to say. Now I think it's time to move to the most interesting section of this webinar, which is Q&A. As I said, I've already got some questions from all of you, so I would like to take the questions. So me and Dheeraj are at the same time checking the questions. So Dheeraj would be definitely assisting us in giving any information about related to the web to print, and I'll be trying to assist you in about e-commerce and Magento related questions. So shall we get started? So if you have, there are many questions. So if you have more questions, you can please feel free to post now. So we can now dedicate this Q&A session for another 5 to 7 minutes, right? Okay, so we have the first question coming from Andrea. I think it's what would be the a cost for a migration from Magento 1 to 2. See, the cost is very subjective. It can only be defined once we understand your exact need for the same. But just for you might be aware about the same. The Magento 1 is a community version, Magento 2 is a community version. So for you're not paying anything for the license. So in that perspective, the licensing is free. But what about the cost of the migration? So the more complexity is involved, you can expect that the cost is higher. The less complexity is involved, you can expect the costs would be less. But as I mentioned previously, Andrea, that we have a complete package solution. So we have a we have dedicated our resources behind that. So I can make sure as of now, as I can't share pricings because it's difficult. So I can make sure that it's going to be affordable as it is all in one solution. That's all I can assure you. And another question from Vikash is my current implementation of M1 is headless. How can I move to the M2 keeping headless in mind? So the thing is that that you'll have to see means on which front-end technology you have used for the Magento 1, okay? And by knowing that, we can assist you. But as I said, it is always easy if you go with a ready headless. We have our progressive web app is an actually a headless PWA. I mean to say that it works on desktop, right? Well, it works on the mobile devices, so it's responsive as well. With the same technology, we built our mobile application as well. So you should make sure to check it out, that headless which we built, and we will at the same time be talking about how we can move it in case if there is any feasibility to your headless M1 to the M2. That's again thing. Of course, we have customers everywhere. I mentioned Woocommerce as a clients in more than 45 countries. I'm talking, and then Design by our parent company has customers in even more countries. So just name it. We will try to find out customers in your own region, and in Italy, in Europe region, we have many customers. So we'll be definitely sharing some links with you so you can easily explore it later on as well. I believe we're running short of time. We would be just taking a couple of, more questions. So is there any more questions you have, or you can always...
Thank you, Danish and Dheeraj, for such wonderful piece of information. I believe it was a worthy session for everyone. I'm looking forward to your further queries and suggestions via email to discuss the subject matter for the further improvements.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you being here. You'll be presented with a short survey, so do not forget to fill it out and share your feedback with us, as that may help us grow better.
Perfect.
And that's why we want you all to see us improve the next time we meet. And for more information about our solutions, about how we can help you out, you always can log into our website, that is mobicommerce.net and designandby.com.